Hey people, this is Jarrod, and today's date is December the 4th, 2013, and of course I'm back to read another poem. But before I get started, I want to acknowledge two incredibly cool people who I met not very long ago. The first person I met goes by the name of Miss Trinisa the Lady Caldwell, who is an incredible poet and advocate, and the second person is Miss Nikia Nocturnal Knowledge Underwood. I hope I got that right. Also, who also goes by Kia. I want to thank them, of course, for giving me this incredible gift. I'm wearing my Coffee House Poets T-shirt that you guys gave me, just in case you're watching. I love it. Thank you so much. It fits well. Feels good. But I also want to thank you guys. And to tell the people who are watching this also to say thank you for inviting me to your World AIDS Day event, an event that is greatly needed, and I'm glad you guys presented yourselves as funnels to to tell people that the HIV and AIDS is still prevalent, not only all over the United States, but primarily here in Alabama, where it is growing strongly, unfortunately. And people need to acknowledge the fact that this disease is still here, again, still prevalent, and still important for us to know about. With that being said, again, thank you, ladies, so much for that. And I'm glad that you guys had the event on the Alabama A&M University campus. That was awesome. And I agree with TC. More people should have been there. And those two speakers that you guys had there were absolutely awesome. And I loved all the poets and the great people who presented their talents at this little event. With that being said, I'm going to read an excerpt from a poem that I read that night on the 1st of this month, entitled Jeff. And for those and for everybody else who is listening and watching this, if you want me to read the poem in its entirety, please send me a message, and I will be more than happy to do so. But right now, I'm just going to give you a taste of it, what I actually read at the event. Jeff, July 16, 2005. He said he had the gift after I shook his hand. There was an out-of-town accent. My name is Jeff. Winn-Dixie had a bit of a skeptic on the front of her property, but there we met. Forward, I was but uneven with his face, bearing a trembling stance. To myself, can I trust the Almighty to corrode my concerns about a new face and protect me as I clutched the far side of my grocery basket? I trust you, Lord. He said he just had to confront me, for there was something about me. He noticed my doubt and caution. Man, I'm just going to give it to you straight, man, and be honest. I was immensely tight with the pause of readiness if self-defense would become prevalent. But there was a little embarrassment, though I listened. His 20-something handsome features correlated stunningly with his slightly over 6 foot frame, and as I studied the smooth, unblemished driftwood that was the shade of his skin while I waited for his narration, I told myself that, yeah, I'll just keep my eye on him this way. He was dressed for the humidity that day, and despite his lean muscularity, he was easily identifiable as a jock before he even mentioned it, looking awesomely luscious in man's laziest apparel. A bleach-white tank top exposing the youth and strength of his arms, saggy gray sweatpants with dangling white drawstrings, the bottom legs scrunched to his knees, and crew socks matching the retina-frying brightness of his tank, and his dingy sneakers were no surprise, while his left hand clutched a thin, dark jacket as if to say he was expecting the temp to lure at night in the middle of an Alabamian July. I've been here for over 3 months, and even though the missions here are nice, they have the same problem as any other, anywhere else. Too many bodies to provide for. I'm not saying that I'm better than my situation, but every now and again it'll be nice to stand as a man. If I wasn't always standing in line, waiting for another sack of something provided by unknown hands. It makes me feel as if I'm not trying hard enough to get back on my feet. All I could do was reply with a cool hand. I hear you, man. He furthered his examination of me and continued with a softer flow. Thank you for listening. As I said, that was an excerpt of a very very elongated narrative poem that I wrote back in 2005. And if you guys are interested in hearing the poem in its entirety, please let me know by sending me a message. And again, this was a poem about a fellow who just came out of nowhere back in 2005 while I was waiting outside a grocery store, waiting for my ride, as a matter of fact. And he just told me an incredible story of his life. He just wanted someone to listen to him. And guys, thank you so much for listening. And again, I thank TC and Kia for inviting me to the World's AIDS event. And of course, again, to the awesome T-shirt. I will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.